Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are in Columbus, Ohio to document the state of Ohio Asylum for the Insane cemetery. Now, this cemetery sits off one of the main roads here in Columbus. It's a very small cemetery, and we have come here today to visit and pay our respects to the individuals laid to rest here and talk a little bit about the history of this place. Now, as you can see, the cemetery sits off one of the main roads, and right there is the police helicopter pad. There's parking over there, and right here is the entrance to the cemetery. Now, they do close these gates. They kind of open slightly, but over here to the left, you can just walk around into the cemetery. But first, I wanted to take a look at this sign right here. State of Ohio Asylum for the Insane Cemetery. We recognize the courage of past state hospital residents who lived with mental illness and inspired future understanding. So we have that sign there. And then over here to the right, we have the State Psychiatric Hospital Cemetery. It says, "This is state property. It is open to public pedestrian traffic only." And it looks like there used to be a box for pamphlets there. There's no pamphlets in it, but the gate doesn't really open. It's kind of stuck in the grass. So we're just gonna go around to the side here and look at this little cemetery that sits off tucked away. Not a lot of people know about this place. I mean, it's public knowledge, but there's just rows and rows of headstones here, and it is a rather large area, but the stones stop about halfway. I don't know if there's more unmarked graves, past this point here, but we're going to take a look at some of the headstones here and talk a little bit about the history. I found a couple articles online regarding the history of this place, and I'm going to read one of them because I'm pretty bad at remembering things. One of them says, "The state approved plans in 1835 and the asylum was built on East Broad Street. It was about a mile from the Ohio State House. Tragically, that building was destroyed in 1868 by a fire that killed 6 people. Instead of rebuilding there, a new hospital would be set on 300 wooded acres along West Broad Street." That's currently where we're at now. "When the hospital opened for business in 1877, it was renamed the Columbus Hospital for the Insane. It's said to have been the largest building in the United States until that title was taken by the Pentagon in 1843. Designers created the building in a style advocated by renowned psychiatrist Thomas Story Kirkbride. Its sprawling floor plan intended to promote a healing environment filled with fresh air and natural light. Originally, the building was designed to treat about 850 patients, but it reportedly housed almost 3,000 by 1835. Over the years, doctors treated patients with lithium, lobotomies, and electroshock therapy, considered the best therapies at the time. The Columbus institution went by many names during its life. For decades, it was known as the Columbus State Hospital, but by the time it was marked for demolition, it was called the Central Ohio Psychiatric Hospital. By the 1970s, the building was falling into disrepair and increasingly expensive to maintain. Despite efforts by preservationists to save its Victorian architecture, the massive hospital was completely demolished in the 1990s. Today, the land is home to the headquarters for the Ohio Public Safety Department and the Ohio Department of Transportation. Patients who died at the hospital and whose families didn't have the resources for a proper funeral are likely those buried on the hilltop property. Many of the headstones are in bad shape, unmarked with serial numbers or read unknown. But at least one victim of the 1868 Asylum fire, Caroline Connor, is known to be buried at the cemetery. So that's pretty much what happened. And as far as I know, this is one of 3 cemeteries associated with the hospital, and there is one in particular headstone. I don't think it's at this one, but it does say specimens on it, and by that it could have been any number of things. It could have been, body parts, pieces of cadavers and stuff like that. See, look, there was a headstone here and it looks like it was pretty much like crushed. Some of these are really hard to read, and along the tree line here, this is the last one at the end of the row. But like I said, I don't know if there's more out there. There very well possibly could be, and many unmarked graves, but this is what we have so far. This is definitely a first for me. I've never been to one of these kind of cemeteries. Yeah, some of these are kind of hard to read. There's not even really anything on this one here. These date back pretty far. That one's got a rock on it. Somebody must have been here recently. 1862, that one says. Noah Becker. Arthur Crum, 1962. 1961. It's like somebody left some flowers here. 61. 60. Oh, okay, I see what's going on here. So it starts down at that end with the most recent date, and then the farther you get closer towards the entrance is the earliest date. Yeah, like right now, these 1959, 1959, 1958, 1958. Goldie Burris died age 48, 4/26, 1958. This one here says Mary Ellen Rickman, known as Stith. She was a mother, 1894 to 1958. Wow. And that's a more recent headstone too. That one's a little bit more designed than the other ones. And as you can see here, these ones right here, you can't even really see anything on that one. Carl Bishop, 12/5/1958. Yeah, it's just really sad. I'm here to Homer Payne. He was 62. Here to visit the individuals here and let them know that they're still loved regardless of what happened, and that they are not forgotten. Ernest J. Breyer. He was 60. So I just keep smelling like perfume as I'm walking around here. It's a pretty clear day. The wind's blowing and all I smell is perfume, and I'm out here by myself. So I don't see like any flowers or anything nearby. As you can see, it's just a big open field. So yeah, that's pretty much the cemetery here. I kind of feel bad because usually every time I visit a cemetery, I like to leave something, and I don't have anything with me this time around to leave. But it's kind of overwhelming in a sense, but it is definitely aside from the constant buzzing of the helicopters going by because of the helicopter pad next door, it's very peaceful out here. It's very quiet. So each one of these individuals here is resting peacefully. And regardless of what happened, whether they passed due to the fire or getting some sort of treatment, they just need to know that they're loved in any way, shape, or form. And I'm here to document, to tell their story so people can come out and visit them whenever they wish. I also like the fact that they have benches set up here so you can come out, take a breather. There have been people walking along the road, so I guess a lot of people come out walking this way, but the cemetery does have benches. There's 2 behind me, there's 2 here, and then there's 2 way down there at the other end. So like I said, very very peaceful out here, aside from the helicopters flying by and then the train that's just on the other side over there. And there's a groundhog way over there visiting as well. But yeah, this is State of Ohio Asylum for the Insane Cemetery. And what's kind of cool is they have a pretty good view here. Just beyond the gates, if you look straight ahead, don't mind the helicopter coming in, but there is the skyline of downtown Columbus. So yeah, we're about a couple miles from downtown Columbus. And like I said, there are 3 cemeteries here in this general area where the asylum used to be. I'm not sure where the other 2 are. I know you kind of have to walk and go off the beaten path. One day I'll make it to the other ones and pay my respects to those individuals that are laid to rest at the other cemeteries. But for now, I was in the area and I wanted to visit these individuals here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to conclude things here before the helicopter decides to land here, because it does get pretty loud. So yeah, we come here to document the State of Ohio Asylum for the Insane Cemetery here. Very peaceful place. It sucks that the stories here are, you know, tragic and whatnot. But to the individuals laid to rest here, again, you are loved, you are missed. And yeah, I think that's going to conclude things here for today's video. So if you're in the area, this is off of Broad Street, West Broad Street. You kind of go through an industrial park to get to it, but it sits off behind everything, so it's kind of secluded. I have only seen 2 people since I've been out here this entire time, so it's very quiet. And yeah, come out, pay your respects, visit these individuals, and learn some history. So a little bit of Columbus history for you. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching today. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, take care, be safe, peace out. We'll see you on the next one, ladies and gentlemen.